Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another live podcast of the Always Connected program. I can see we have a full house. Those of you watching live and a bunch of you in the studio waiting to come on. I'm so excited. I'll just give you a heads up, Sharon, you're first in line. I can't see you on camera yet, but when we bring you, hopefully your camera will work. Today's topic, you ready? The human wants control. I'll bet you a lot of you can relate to that. But here's the key. Understanding that the human wants it, but there's a part of you that completely trusts the flow of spirit can get you out of suffering. I was lying in bed this morning wondering what we were going to talk about. I knew the topic, but I'm doing my best with this program to not plan too much. I have notes and I've already thrown them on the floor. But I thought of a story of a time when I really realized I had no control. Many of you know my background. Today, I'm a spiritual leader and an author of spiritual books, but my background is 20 years as a Navy officer. And back when I was a Navy commander, I was asked by the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the head of the whole United States Armed Forces, to be his aide de camp. I like to say it's like his right-hand man, right? And my worst moment in that tour of duty was when I accompanied the chairman to Egypt. And part of what made me a good aide was my ability to plan, to really drill down into the very details, to look ahead, to think ahead, and maintain control, right? And what happened in Egypt was I completely lost control of the situation because the aide back at the Pentagon who planned the trip, I executed this one, failed to ask the US Embassy about cultural habits that might influence how the trip went. And I quickly learned that the Egyptians love to give gifts. And so here we are. The moment we arrived, we stepped off our airplane. We were greeted by an Egyptian colonel who was not on my list of people we were planning to meet. And he handed the general this giant present wrapped in beautiful paper. The general unwrapped it, and there's this beautiful silver platter. I mean, what a lovely gift. And the general did what he did. He turned to me and he says, "Commander, what do I have to give to this colonel?" And I'm standing there blinking, thinking, we weren't expecting this. So I have my little grab bag and I pulled out a chairman's plaque and he gave it to the colonel and they were happy. Everywhere we went were unexpected officers bearing gifts. And I very quickly ran out of gifts until we had little cufflinks or just little trinkets. And I'm getting this look from the general that I knew I was in trouble. And we were only one day into this 2-day visit. We had engraved gifts for the bigwigs. That's what we expected. But I did not expect to be humiliated in front of my general. But the problem is, as an aide, your job is to make your boss look good. And he was looking bad. So I was shaken, totally in human mode, because I had no spiritual tools at that time in my life. And what saved me was a bit of advice from the senior enlisted aide. He said, "Commander, the general does not like excuses. If you make excuses, he will fire you in a second." And sure enough, when we got back on the plane after that visit, he didn't say anything the whole time, but oh, the looks, they were just like the looks my mother used to give me. Maybe you all know the look. We get on the plane, he called me up to his cabin, and I'm standing there looking up at this 6'5" general with his 4 stars on each shoulder. And he went rah, 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 and read me the riot act. And I wanted to say, "But sir, we didn't know. I didn't have the intelligence, military intelligence, to know this was what they did." But what did I say instead? "Just like boot camp. Sir, no excuse, sir. It won't happen again, sir." And that was all he needed to hear. And he let me go, and I kept my job. And it never happened again because I maintained my human control. But to this day, I have nightmares about that job and not having control. A little longer story than I'm used to telling in these webinars, but I wanted you to know that I've come a long way since then. Back then, I was the list maker. Back then, I was the planner. And in between then and now, what caused that change? It was the ultimate loss of control. When a bolt of lightning came out of the blue sky and killed my stepdaughter and her unborn child. That to me showed me in the most powerful way possible, we actually don't have control over our greatest human fear. People we love die. And I know a lot of you have come to this program and to my teaching because you have someone you love across the veil. And there was no excuse, sir, that I could say to that. There was no explanation for me at the time of why people die young or why we get sick with cancer and all those questions that we do our best to control our lives and feel safe. Yet inside us, there's a part of us that always knows I or my loved ones could die at any time. And just hearing that, can't you feel yourself clench? So happily for me, by grace, I had that moment looking at Susan's body at the funeral when the soul in me realized, wait, we are more than these human bodies. We are more than these nervous systems that cause us to panic and think this life is all there is. And I went on a search for Susan, and that whole story is told in my book, Making the Afterlife Connection. But boy, it led to this discovery of what I now teach called the Awakened Way. And many of you are familiar with that. I have a book called The Awakened Way, and it's based on 3 simple principles that I discovered through the experience of sitting in the silence, that we are not only human. We are these beautiful souls. And when we can let go of the need to control, when we can realize that we are part of this great field of intelligence that will guide us and that will flow like a river that doesn't need to be controlled, that's our safety valve. We will still always be human. But we come to know number 2 on the Awakened Way principles. We're part of this web of connections, including guides who have a greater perspective than we do, who see the connections we have with our soul family and with those of us around us, and give us insights when we stop clenching and trying to control, who tell us we can take our notes and throw them away because a higher intelligence has got this. That's what I've learned over the years. I still have to practice letting go moment by moment, but what a life changer it is to realize we can't control the next thought, and yet we keep trying. We can't guarantee our safety, and yet we can do what we're guided to manage our surroundings. And we say our world is in chaos. We've lost total control. We have never had total control, but we can manage it. And when we stop resisting the flow of this river of life and see that it has its ups and downs, and know that we're connected to this web, and that number 3, love is the creative healing force that is that flow. Pure coherence is love. That is our basic essence. When we come to trust that, simply by recognizing it's the program that's keeping us tense, it's the program of the brain that causes us to it gives us the illusion of control and causes us to seek it instead of breathing and going within. When we realize that the guidance is here, we're not only human, and the program keeps us stuck, there's a bit of relief in that. I hope you can feel it. I don't ever want to go back to that list making, planning, needing to know every detail, having to have everything go perfectly, because the difference, the felt experience between that and this peace that truly does pass all understanding, and knowing you and I have a team of guides that are just waiting for us to let down our guard. What a gift that is. And that's what I hope this program and all of my work is for you, a gift of remembrance of what your soul already knows. Just the other day, something happened. I don't know what it was, but I reminded Ty, my husband, of the serenity prayer. And it is so helpful, isn't it? You know, God grant me the peace to accept the things I cannot change, the wisdom. Oh, and to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That wisdom is within all of us now. So, with that preamble, I'm going to bring on members of our beautiful Awakened Way community, and we'll tune into my guide, Sanaya, and see what comes up related to this topic. So just a reminder, please, this is not about connecting with your loved ones. This is about hearing your issue you might have with the topic of control, seeing what insights we get from spirit, and modeling what we're talking about here, because I can't control what you're going to ask, but I will ask you to keep it short. I had to kind of shorten somebody last week, and it dampened their energy, and I felt a little bad about that. But I need you to monitor yourself and get to the point as quickly as you can, but I don't want to rush you. All right? So with that having been said, Spirit and I and all of us welcome. Let me get this off the screen. Welcome Sharon to the program. Sharon, do you have a camera? I thought this might happen, but I can't control Sharon or her camera. All right. So Sharon, I'm sorry you've been waiting. I can hear some rustling in the background, but it's just not working. So she dropped off anyway. Blessings to Sharon. Okay. I'm going to let you all in on a secret. If you've been on my Awaken Way cruises, you know Mitch and Karen Crawford. Mitch is the guy running around with the camera all the time, taking all of our beautiful photos to memorialize the cruises. Karen is a wonderful friend and artist, wonderful astrologer, former ER doctor who followed her dreams and her passion to now work in surf spirit. They're sitting right here off camera. They're visiting us here for the weekend, and they wanted to be in the studio with me. So send them a lot of love. But anyway, let's move on to, I believe, I need my glasses, Lee. Lee, guess what? You're on the program. And somebody else there with you. And you might be muted. Hey, you might be muted. Do you know how to unmute yourself? Oh my goodness. See, I have no control over this, and I'm not stressing at all. Say something else, and if we can't get it figured out, we're going to have to move on, and I'll come back to you. I'm going to come back to you, Lee. Okay? You guys find a little microphone down there and has a line through it, Lee, and undo that when we come on stage after the next person. Third time's going to be the charm here with Lenore. Okay.
Hi, Suzanne.
Hi.
I did your messages across the veil, and thank you very much. I truly enjoyed it.
On my recent course with the shift.
Yes, I loved it. My question is, I am an empath, and I get flooded with emotions. Even just doing the meditation on the hemisync, you say give gratitude and love, and it just boils out of me, and tears, everything. So how am I going to control this if I'm doing channeling for people?
Oh, I love that you added that at the end, because this is the whole point. We can't control it. That's the way your nervous system is programmed. So, but there are tools. First of all, you understand that's the way I am. And I'd like us to just say together, Spirit, we need to dial that emotion down a little bit when I'm working with spirit, right? But what's going to help you the most is the tools that I brought to that most recent course, and that's using the hara, the belly, the
Yes.
center of soul awareness as your anchor. So you're very much in the heart. Then the head gets involved and has all these shoulds, doesn't it? Oh, I shouldn't be this way. Can you relate to that?
Well, I've been like this my whole life.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
But now you're bringing it into channeling and working with spirit, and you're feeling the contrast, and there are a lot of beliefs that you can't bring a lot of emotions in. If this is just the way you are, then we're going to flow with that, but anchor more of those emotions. So everybody listening, we can all benefit from this. Just take a nice deep breath. Feel the emotion, any emotions, the gratitude you were just feeling in your heart. And just move awareness down to the belly like an elevator. You're riding an elevator down lower, and then carry that emotion all the way down like a river through to your feet, and let the emotions flow through you. There's this mild resistance in you that says, oh, too much, and you block it instead of just saying, let it flow, let it flow.
That's one of the reasons I signed up for your classes, because my solar plexus is hard as a rock. Hard as a rock. And when you said that you weren't grounded and you were wobbly and all of this, and that's why that's why I signed up. I'm a programmer and an astrologer. I shouldn't be here. But my solar plexus, just talking to you right now, just hardens.
That's resistance. And so you've labeled it a block, but let's just, instead of block, which has a less than positive feel to it, and all of us can relate to this. Oh my God, I have a block. Well, what's a block? It's just dense energy that wants to flow. So we're just going to take the lid off that pot, for another analogy, and let those feelings be felt. And there is there's spirit telling me there's fear in you that you'll be overwhelmed by it if you let it. Yeah. And so I'd like you to sit. Oh, yeah. They're saying this is safe and you can do it. Sit in meditation by yourself over the next few weeks and say, I'm going to allow myself to feel all of it.
But I'll sob.
Okay. But just by yourself in meditation. And what follows the end is, and so your body wants that. That's a release. So you're going to let that sobbing out. That's cathartic. And then wait till you feel the peace that follows that. And then just take a big sigh, breathe it in and say, oh my gosh, no more block there. And you may have to do this over and over, but do this before you go on and move on in your practice. Practice feeling it all and let it flow. Just again, think about that block is just a stone in the river that wants to flow, but it's not solid, it's not permanent, and it will just dissolve by acknowledging it and letting the sobs out. But now also one more thing before we move on to the next person, because this applies to everybody, very helpful. Know that as you do that, watch your thoughts. That what's going to come up is, what if it happens when I work? The what if, that's the human brain. That's the program, planning. Firm as you're doing the practice and feeling this during your off-duty practice sessions of sobbing and letting it go. And this is so that I am clear when I work. And what the clarity means is you'll feel the emotions and they will flow instead of getting stuck in your solar plexus. And you won't feel that big need to sob because you will have released that beforehand.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You can also let me know how that works out for you. I know it's going to be great, so let us know.
Thank you.
All righty.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Love you.
All right. Now let's see if Lee will manage to unmute himself. Here you are again. Oh. And we're still seeing moving lips. And I'm really not that much of a mind reader that I can read his lips. Karen reads lips. You guys, thank you for trying to join us. I can't unmute you myself, but maybe another show. Okay. And if you've already been on the show, I ask you to press the little red button and remove yourself so we have more room for more people. So meanwhile, Linda, I'm going to come to you second after the next person because I can't see you either, just a pink screen. But Tracy, with an E, you're on the show.
Yes. Am I unmuted?
You are unmuted. Your
Yay.
camera's on. Success.
Awesome.
So,
Well, I guess, well, real quick, like my question is, I have fear. I think that, and I don't know if that's related to control, but I'm afraid of them. I know they're around me all the time. And sometimes by some freak accident, I guess, I hear things, and I try really hard to pay attention. But my biggest thing is I say, please don't scare me. You can come and talk to me, but don't scare me. I just get a little scared by it. I had some bad experiences when I was a kid with these types of things, entities and whatnot. But I really want to hear more. I can almost hear them. I feel like they're so far away, and I'm trying so hard to listen. Am I trying too hard? Is it control or is it fear?
This is so wonderful because you've mentioned like 3 or 4 things that are such key points, and anybody who's taken my recent class will recognize this. So first of all, let's breathe. Let's just breathe. You say, sometimes by a freak accident, I hear them. It's not a freak accident. You have that desire. You've already stated it publicly here. You want to hear from spirit, right? And so what happens is those freak accidents are not freaky at all, and they're not accidents. Those are the moments when you are clear and open and not in fear. You've come into resonance with the spirits. You've come into a coherent state in your own field, and the spirits say, look at that. She's not in fear. We can come through to her. And then the problem is your nervous system is trained and programmed to go to fear when you sense that. So it's counterproductive, of course. So how do we overcome that? I have my own thoughts, but let me just check with spirit. Oh, okay. Spirit says to take on a playful attitude.
Okay.
Do you, yes or no, feel truthfully right now that the spirits are going to hurt you physically?
No, I do not. But
you know
I had that once in the past, but I don't now.
Okay. So we do have childhood incident that is still part of your nervous system. So we're going to do a trauma practice right now, clearing trauma that everybody can benefit with. I showed somebody this the other day, and it's super helpful. So let's all do it. Think of something you're still carrying from your childhood or even last week that you're kind of obsessing about, that's causing you fear, that's causing you a block. So holding that feeling, just taking a really nice deep breath. Breathe in now, slowly. Now, without exhaling, now breathe in a little more. Now, right there, we're going to tell our brain, in fact, the safety part of our brain, the amygdala, thank you for trying to protect me. You're holding your breath now. I appreciate your efforts, but I am safe now. You can relax. Now, exhale slowly. What we're doing is reprogramming this old pattern that the amygdala has been holding on to, no matter how long. Let's do that one more time now that you know what we're doing. Everybody, breathe in nice and slowly, fully. Now, at the top of that breath, you think you've filled your lungs, but you haven't. Take in a little more now. And right there, let's lovingly parent our brain and say, thank you for protecting me from that actual fearful moment in the past, but that has passed. I know I am safe now. Thank you for protecting me, but you can relax and exhale. Doesn't that feel good?
Okay. Yeah, very much so.
Now we need to retrain the thought patterns that say, I'm afraid every time I sense the spirit. You know it's not going to hurt you anymore. We know that our thoughts can't kill us or hurt us. They can generate feelings that are uncomfortable, but with the soul's awareness, everybody, we can look at them and say, wow, that's just the program again. So I'd like you to just work on some affirmations to say, I know I'm safe. And then the third key for you is that trying with anything spirit related, trying to connect with spirit, but even human, trying to control life actually has the opposite effect. It clamps down, it causes those rocks in the river of flow, it blocks your awareness of spirit. So what do you do if you don't try? Let's see what Sanaya has to say about this. Just be present. Just notice what's arising and just hold that intention that you already have. Basically, that playful invitation to spirit. I'm here for you. I can't wait to see how you show up in my life. I'm open and I'm trusting that I am safe and protected innately as the soul that I am. How does that feel?
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
That's
You two are going to have to give us feedback on how that's working out for you.
I will. Will
All
too. Thank you.
right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Lovely. That was Lenore. We're going to take you off the stage. Wait, now who do we have? That's Lenore. You were already on here. I
Yes.
need you to press the little red button that takes you out of the studio, that makes room, and then go back to the actual podcast on YouTube, and you can join us live again. Okay. But next we have, on the topic of the human one's control, Jennifer. Here you are. Yay. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
No.
Yes. So very nice to meet you.
Really, everybody feel that bubbly energy. Woo. I can see like the little Valentines and bubbles going up from you, a little effervescent. That's cool.
That's so sweet. So this past year, I had a spiritual awakening, and it was sort of out of the blue. I had a lot of health problems, and I was going through some healing, and I actually had a miraculous healing. And during my treatments, I was doing meditating, and I started connecting with like loved ones and my guardian angels. And it was just like, I didn't have these beliefs. And so it created this connection that I didn't know was possible.
Beautiful. And then I feel a lot of envious people in the audience right now. I want that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel so grateful and lucky. But it's sort of like I've always had this pattern of needing to control, and that's also part of the thing that got me unwell. And like not following my aligned path and all of this. But as I was meditating, I get to a higher frequency, and it feels like I get farther and farther away from my body, and then I start panicking and I try to control, and I'm like, it like pulls me out, and it's like almost like I have like this, it's like a radio frequency that it's like I'm barely, like I can hear it sometimes. It's like in and out,
So I got the issue, and basically to summarize it, like, what do I do to overcome that? Is that it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And also
you love these abilities that have come up to the front, right?
Yes, I want to develop them and just bring them into my life more. And also I think almost the desire to do it also creates an expectation that creates a block too sometimes.
That's true. Yeah, once you have those bells and whistles, that becomes a goal instead of just allowing the flow. And
yes,
that's a key as well. Everybody repeat after me. It's the program. And so when you just don't berate yourself, please, for the expectations. That is the human way, just like the human wants control. We want more, more, more. The brain is programmed for more, more, more.
Mm-hmm.
And spirit wants us to relax into just being and experiencing that beautiful state that is actually more profound than the bells and whistles. To be able to drop into that state of peace, no matter what, that is a gift far greater than any singular experience of fireworks or seeing a spirit or anything. The ongoing awareness, peace is right here.
Mm-hmm.
So what I see is that your illness, you can see the gift in it already. The healing was certainly a gift. That was your wake-up call, like my Susan's passing was a wake-up call. I just met a couple at a party the other day who are easily in their late 80s. They had never heard of mediumship. They didn't know anything that I was talking about as we got to talking about my work. And I thought, you got this far in your life without any major wake-up calls. Wow. That may be a gift for them. But what I see with you is this is your soul's path right here. To have had this awakening when you had it, and nice young age for that to happen too, because now you get to unfold that over a nice long time. But you said, I've always had this pattern of, and right there, I heard the bells going off. Everybody, whenever you can express, I've always had this thing, that's a soul contract. You came in to learn more about that, and you feel this innate nudging, right? To overcome that need to control. So
Yes.
that's, you know, like people say, well, what's my purpose? Well, it's to find coherence, to be okay with the flow no matter what. Well, you've already identified one of your major patterns. If we were to do a past life regression, which is not my thing, you would see probably a direct correlation with some other life where control issue. So now you can laugh at that lovingly and say, oh, there's that pattern again. And instead of resisting it, realize, hey, I came here to loosen those patterns. It's a soul thing. And just like we spoke with Lenore, I believe it was, you know, just, it's okay. Just let it be. But when you feel yourself going higher, 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 or going too far out there, that's where the practice that we just did about feeling your awareness drop down into the body. Part of the big mistakes that we make early on in the journey is thinking we want to go out there. We want to have out-of-body experiences. We need to feel spacey. I did that for the longest time. I would wobble back and forth in meditation. Oh, this flow feels good. I'm so spacey. But actually, the connection for all of us is so much better when we ground our awareness in the belly and anchor it into the earth and align that with the heart and the head and the heaven. That's the full flow instead of being just out there. So practice moving to the belly before you start your meditation and returning there even when you feel you're going higher. It won't interrupt that. You want to say something else?
Oh, that just makes perfect sense to me. I feel like I became very disconnected from my body, which was disconcerting because it felt like almost I was going to come out of my body, and I was like, oh, whoa, put the brakes on that, Yeah, so definitely I haven't grounded.
I'm going to show you a grounding tool that I have right here, and everybody else will appreciate this. And it weighs so much. This is this gorgeous smoky quartz sphere. Smoky quartz has a nice grounding vibration, and I keep it right here now that I've discovered how important going to the Hara is. That's the stone that I relate, the crystal that I relate to the Hara. And Karen and Mitch saw me as I was getting ready for this show. I put my hand right over here on that quartz. I put my other hand on my belly to remind myself to be grounded, to be present in the body, because spirit uses your whole field. And it just sits here, everybody, as a reminder to be centered. Okay. Thank you for allowing me to share this teaching with everybody. See how your issues are universal, really.
Yes. Thank you. So yes, bringing in maybe some smoky quartz or another crystal would be.
Yeah. Anything that's grounding. There's a black obsidian, other things. There's the Tucson Gem Show is going on here now where I live. Yes. Oh my God.
I also live in Tucson.
Why did I mention that? Thank you, Spirit. It's so cool. Ding, ding, ding. That's one of those. Here we go.
Yeah, I hope you're loving it here. It's just so beautiful, the land and everything.
I am, but that show, it's like a candy store.
Oh my goodness. I know. It's like things you've never seen before. It's incredible.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, Jennifer.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome. I will tell you, everybody, that the Gem Show was a real practice for me in discernment. Do I really need that stone? Do I really need that beautiful thing? Is it really worth it to spend that much money or $3 on this crystal? We don't need any of them. The guides just said, say that again. You do not need to run out and get yourself a giant smoky quartz. Really, size doesn't matter in these cases. You could go outside and get yourself a stone from nature. Any stone. that's going to just remind you. That's all it is right now. It's a reminder to be centered and appreciate the body, because it's part of your field and will help you connect to spirit. The human wants control. Right now, all of you are wanting to run out to crystal store and get, okay, they said not everybody, but those of you who can appreciate that, oh my God, it's not enough, I need more. You can relax. These are just tools, but they definitely can help. That's why I have the reminders. Yay. All right. Our topic today, as you see, is the human wants control. So again, the key to all of this is recognizing we are souls in human form and honoring that's the way our brains have developed, our nervous systems have developed, and not to think there's something wrong with you, but to recognize it and question things lovingly and then make choices. So let's move on to Joanne. You ready to come on the show?
Yes.
Joanne, can you move back a little from your camera?
Yep.
More,
Hold
yeah.
on. Hold on.
Hold on, everybody.
Hold on.
Control things, aren't I? No, there's a difference between controlling and managing. That's great.
How's that?
So good. That's a lot better. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right. What's your question or issue related to our topic?
My son crossed over in December of 2023.
Okay.
I'm a single mom. He's my only child and my only son. So coming from that standpoint as a single mother, where you tend to control as much of your life and your child's life as possible, you keep everything under control so it doesn't fall apart. I find that I was carrying that forward in my communications. Like I was attempting to control the conversation or the communication between him and me.
Yeah.
And I've been practicing letting go of that. And by practicing your methods of that breathing during those sessions, I found that the information coming from him wasn't necessarily specific to what I was asking, but it was what I needed to hear.
Ooh, see? Isn't it beautiful? Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm listening to your techniques here and they all make sense. And my question was, when I'm in the active moment of communicating with them, is there a special thing that I could do to pull myself back? Like in that moment with the breathing, like, stop doing this, Joanne, you're pushing, just let it come from him. And
okay. The guides, as I tune into you, said that your specific energy field is more going to the heart than the hara. The hara, we want to pay attention to the heart, the hara, and the head, but you're very much in the head. That's that control part. So just honoring that that's the way you are and going more to the heart and seeing what you've already shown, that when you just trust that he's here with you, you don't need the evidence, you don't need the specific answers, but in your heart he's right here. That's when you will be able to hold that connection longer. And the guides say, please continue to talk to him in between, just as you have been. I brought through a Jimmy from the other side of the veil recently, just the other day, and they're shouting Jimmy at me as well. Is there a Jimmy in your life or significant related to your son?
not that I'm aware of with that name.
Then what I'm getting is that the way that young man passed has to do with yours, and I'm not supposed to talk about that out loud in this show right now. So, okay, we can talk offline. Send an email to my email on the contact page, okay?
Okay.
Okay, but meanwhile, simply trusting that you're in the flow, you've acknowledged the need for control, and moving your awareness to the heart and just saying, I'm here for you. Okay.
And you do that during that session, right? It's like it can be in real time, so to speak, in that session.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
It's not like I'm gonna lose a connection or he's gonna go away.
No, this is a good opportunity to share everybody that the connection never goes away, that the connection is always present. Is that our loved ones in spirit are simply on a different network or a different channel. And so your intention to connect with him brings you into resonance. He pays more attention because he feels you reaching out to him. And many times you think of him. We all think of our loved ones because they are thinking of us at that time and reaching out to us. The connection is always there. We just have to turn our attention to it. And going to the heart for you will help you hold that rather than listening to the head that's saying, am I doing this right? What if I don't get him? The heart knows already that connection is ongoing.
And then just move that down to the hara.
Okay. Did you take my recent course as well with the hara, the heart, and the head?
I signed up for Omega, but
We'll be talking about that at the Omega Institute as well. But we have these 3 energy centers, everybody. I'm going to take you off the screen now, and I'll just go through that practice real quickly with everybody. But I know this will help you and everybody else. Okay. Thank you for coming on the show, Joanne. So let me go like this. So everybody, we have the 7 chakras, the 7 energy centers that most people are familiar with, but we also have these 3 centers of our soul awareness, one in the head, one in the heart, and the hara. So as Karen and Mitch saw me do, I put the hand on this one stone to remind me to use the hara, because it's only about a year-long practice for me now. It's still becoming part of my being. And one hand on the belly to remember the hara. But I've almost always started my practices focused on the heart. And I bring in the head as well. So you just align the 3 centers before any prolonged session with spirit. Are these practices necessary? Not at all. Many of you know that we can simply just shift our attention, trusting that our loved ones are here, and say, step into my awareness now. I'd love to have a conversation with you. But by focusing on all 3 and aligning them, I have a hara method that I'm not going to go into right now. The spirit says no later. You align them. In Joanne's case, she's going to benefit by holding her awareness in the heart, but many of us will have a much more clear and grounded connection if we hold our awareness as well as we can without trying in the hara, and everything just flows from that centered state. All right. So the topic is, again, the human wants control. And our conversations are a little all over the chart. It also relates so much to last week's podcast, doesn't it? About trusting spirit. So let's see what our next guest from our Wake and Wake community has to share. It's Nicola or Nicola. How do you pronounce your name?
It's Nicola. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Hello.
can.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Okay. Right. I'm so nervous. My heart's like beating out my chest to start with. It'll probably go bright red. Okay.
Can't control that.
No, I'm trying. First, I'll say I'm a database manager, and I have been for 30 years of IP. So lists and data, my thing.
Left brain.
Interacting with people, not so much. Me and a computer, data.
Okay.
To the point of I write your acronyms down every Monday, check that I got them right from the last Monday, berate myself if I got any wrong.
Oh no, oh no. Your guides are saying, she keeps us busy.
Yeah. I pull angel cards from 3 packs and hoping for a connection between them. And if there's a sign, if there isn't, I pull more cards to the point that it becomes meaningless because I've pulled so many. Today, I've got patience, support, and light, which actually seems quite appropriate. But anyway, I've meditated for quite a long time. I don't think I'm very good at it. I either can't quiet my brain or I fall asleep. And I ask over and over to hear from my guides, from my guardian angel, from my beloved Blue, who died 11 years ago, from my beloved Arnie, who died 4 years ago. Every night I touch their pictures. I ask them to come.
Okay. Summarize your question. I want to remind you there's nothing wrong with you. Look at this beautiful soul that chose to come in as this left brain person with all of these foils and habits, and your soul is just pure love. and your guides just love you immensely and just laugh with love at you, like, we're just going to keep by her side until she just relaxes a bit. But meanwhile, isn't she lovely? Okay. I hope you can come to see yourself the way they do. And all of us do.
Yeah.
So
Because
Yeah.
I'm just going back to the topic. I see I'm trying that your word, in your email, trying
Mhm.
and getting sad because you're trying so hard and nothing's happening. And then my husband all thinks it's a bit woo-woo, too woo. So when he asks what's wrong, I just kind of go, well, I'm just a bit tired, because I don't want him to tell me not to meditate, not to be hoping. And I say, I'm not hearing from my guides. I'm not hearing, and I'm trying so hard, and they're not talking to me, and it's upsetting me. He would say, well,
Is
don't
that
do it then.
Is that what you wanted help with? And it's just like,
Yeah.
how do I get over myself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
that, why am I, what am I doing wrong? Why aren't, and I've been asking for Blue for 11 years.
Your soul programmed a body that's very tightly wound and likes its routines and such. I mean, there's something in you that feels so safe when you have the acronyms and you have your rituals and you can turn to the data. So your soul came for the joy of letting that relax bit by bit and seeing how it feels, experiencing trust. On my upcoming Awaken Way cruise in September, I'm going to do a whole module. I was just given this the other day on using cards, like you said, to learn trust and why that helps us. I've taught before, in fact, one of my books, I don't even know which one it is, tells the story of when I pulled this specific card and knew I would pull it. And then I was told to pull another one and was told exactly what card I was going to pull, and I didn't pull it. And I thought, well, I knew that would happen. And then I came to realize the card that I had pulled was perfect, because it was all about fear and lack of trust and needing to control. And with that realization that there is a greater part of us that's right here, everybody, that knows what's going to unfold, I knew that the next card I was going to pull would be the right card. So when you say you're using cards, this is a great practice in recognizing your state of mind before you pull the card. Feeling your body. Use this as a tool now. In fact, because of the teaching that I was going to share this on the cruise, I had to go buy a new deck of tarot cards, because the 3 cards that were part of that story are framed off to my right here. And so I had an incomplete deck. So I needed a new one for the teaching, but I'd like you to get any kind of angel card. You already have yours, right, Nicola? Yeah. And so you spread it out. And what if instead of having to get a perfect card, you can practice relaxing and enjoy, maybe for the first time, this totally playful, won't this be fun attitude, and say, what if I pull the perfect card without needing to know what it is in advance? And so you have dismissed cards you've pulled in the past and said they didn't make sense. What if when you turn it over, you trust that it is always the perfect card, but at face value, it may not be? This will be a wonderful practice for anybody to relax. That's what one of the things we're going to do on the cruise. I'm going to have cards for everybody in some form to relax and feel into, why is that the perfect one for me right now? And I'm being drawn to just pull one right now. And I don't even know. I'm not into tarot, but I'm into feeling. And what we pulled was the 6 of Wands. It means absolutely nothing to me right now. But so I'm going to tune in and see what it means for you. See, tarot-wise, I can't even tell you what wands are, and I'm probably driving some of our community crazy, because you do tarot, right? And you know what that is, but I'm going to listen to spirit and see why that's perfect for you. Wands, I know, are a positive thing, This is a person on a white horse. It's a positive thing. This is you trusting that you're on a journey. There are others on the journey with you, like your husband, and that the perfect way your body is programmed right now is not a fault at all, but you're standing with confidence. You're riding with confidence on this horse. There's a wreath around it. That to me says that as you relax, you're going to have a smoother ride and success in letting go of the need for data and proof and acronyms and just enjoying the ride. See, did I turn that into the perfect card for you, or did meaning come out of our shared resonance coming together? It's both.
Yeah.
It's both.
Thank you.
We can't unprogram you overnight and in one show. But just by showing you that your soul chose exactly how you are right now. But yet there's something in you that says, we could relax a bit. We could flow a bit more. I'm tired of trying. And just let that little girl come out a little more and be a little more playful and keep the things that work for you. But the topic again, the human one's control, just acknowledging that that's the way we are. That's the way you're programmed, but you are also human will help you bring more of the soul faculties to the forefront. All right?
Thank you. Thank you. That's brilliant. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Oh my goodness. I hope you all are enjoying the topic today. I'm going to ask Spirit where we go with this. They said bring on some more people. They've been waiting. So let's do that. I am going to bring on, I don't have time to do all 4 of you that are still in the room, I'm sorry to say, but we'll do our best. Let's see. Debbie, I can't control what you're going to say.
Hello. So nice to talk to you.
Great.
I have a question.
Okay.
I'm sure I've surrendered my human side as much as I can. And I don't know. I'm like a clean slate. I go with the flow. I listen to my intuition. I listen, I do, but I'm just not grasping. I get the downloads of knowing, and then I feel lost without it. So I don't know if I've given up too much, or I haven't given up, and it's my ego saying, no, you have, but you haven't. So I'm a little bit lost.
Okay. Actually, the answer that I have for you today is to go back to a program, the Always Connected show 2 times ago, where we talked about that the guidance feels like it's gone silent. We spend a whole hour on that topic. There are wonderful tools in there, and I know that will help you. And you were meant to say it because there are other people that missed that show, and it's just right for them. Control is not an issue with you. You said it right off the bat. It's not an issue at all. So go back to that, and it has to do with trust. And for you, it's mostly realizing that Spirit is already talking to you, but perhaps not in the way you're expecting. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. And then we have, I'm looking who's backstage here. Maria, you were sideways resting, but you're about to come on the show. You ready? Yeah. Uh-oh. Are these tears? I can't hear you. You're muted. Do you know how to unmute yourself? Uh-oh. Give it a try. Oh, everybody send love to Maria, okay? I can't hear you and I can't help you.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Now take a nice deep breath, okay?
I don't know how I was led to you. I had you on a reminder. But I've been going through some stuff and I need help because I feel like I do damage control. And I'm really trying my guides to help me. But I know that you know everything I've been through. I know you can see my soul. But I am so stuck. I don't know where to go from here. My mind tells me to leave the way I've always left everywhere. But then my heart tells me to stay. But the person that I'm here with just keeps on telling me that I think I'm God and that I'm always happy and I'm not in my reality. I know all my circumstances. I know they're not the best, but at the moment I'm happy and I don't know what to do no more. I'm so tired.
Okay.
I'm
All
so tired.
right. I'm going to just, we're going to just put you silent for just a second and talk to you. Okay. All right. Everybody, do you know how powerful all of our energy is? And that as empaths, it's so challenging to feel another's pain. And it can just flow through us as we all send. And I'm asking Sanaya to send healing energy to Maria. And Maria, I want to tell you, breathe it in, okay? Breathe it in. And there is no one answer for you right now that I could give in this moment. And Spirit says that they're doing their best to send you the right healer, okay? And that's going to be an energetic healer combined with a human medicine healer. You have several issues going on that have built up to this point of overwhelm, but you have what you need and it's coming to you. Everybody keeps sending the energy. Breathe it in. One thing that we learn from Spirit is nothing is missing. At the soul level, we are whole and complete. And what we need is given. And when we feel overwhelmed, it's very challenging to sense what we need. So I'd like you to practice, Maria, some self-soothing as we continue to ask Spirit to show you the right healer, to lead the right person to you. And I know that part of it's going to come to me from somebody watching the show now that will know exactly what kind of energy healer you need. Breathe and exhale. There is nothing wrong with you. This is the way life is unfolding for you right here, right now. The soul is strength and courage and peace and joy and humility and gratitude and love. And these have become a bit lost in your personal experience. So I'd like you to go to my website and listen to and dive into the journey of remembrance and soak up those vibrations as you affirm, everybody, I trust that nothing is missing. There is nothing wrong with my soul. Help is here, just waiting to reveal itself. All right? Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. I didn't unmute her. She somehow, I had muted her. She got through with that. It's beautiful. And everybody's love made a difference there. And of course, she's not instantly healed, but we had some relief. And hopefully that will help her as we send so much love and energy. Wow, we've almost gone through an hour. That was a tough one, right? And my human need to control wants to bring on somebody that's going to lift the energy and make something fun and funny happen. But that's not the way life is it? We have some people that are truly suffering. We have other people that are in beautiful places. And this is the fullness of love in full expression. That's life. That is life. And that there's a part of us that just instantly wants to help people find relief. And that's why we have relationships. So instead of a wild card moment, Spirit just said that is the wild card moment, the journey of remembrance. It's on YouTube, actually, and it's a gift. It's on the gifts page on my website. It's a 32-minute channeling from Sanaya with channeled music when I am completely out of balance. And it happens to all of us because we are both souls and humans. That's my go-to. It's transformative. I thought about it on my last cruise, and we had actual physical, not to mention emotional and spiritual healings just from the energy of that. So that's our gift for you today, the journey of remembrance. So I thank you all for coming on the show. Spirit says we're going to end with what I just ended my last monthly connection with. Just a very simple practice so we all can find balance from this roller coaster of a ride of interacting live with live human beings here living the fullness of life. Just close your eyes with me for a moment, and this beautiful practice will help us come back to center. Okay? Be still and know that underneath all of our humanness, I am. Be still and know this. Be still and simply be. If you can have, you can open your eyes now, micro moments of just being, those are cumulative. You find that place of knowing I am with nothing after it. Just remember, as the soul, you are pure consciousness. Everything else is story. And some stories can get very dramatic, and some stories are fun. And they are all layers upon our beautiful souls. Remember that guidance from Spirit. Nothing is missing. It's all here for the taking and for the rolling around in it. This is life. So let's all go to our hearts. Find something you're grateful for. That'll bring you back into coherence faster than anything. What are you grateful for right now? I'm grateful for all of you who joined us here today, for the energy and the love that you brought. And if this show spoke to you, please put a comment in the comments afterwards and share it with somebody. That's what this is all about, isn't it? Sharing the love. My love to all of you, and I'll see you back here next Sunday.